3, 2. Liana and Kelly. Welcome to Going Deep with Liana and KG. We're back again with Going Deep 2.0. Last year we decided to do a year in review, but we're back again after we got that 2020 vision. Why not do it again, you know?
Yeah, this year I think for a lot of people was significant. For us, it just happened.
Yeah, all of a sudden it's December. But I'm back again with my compadre, Kelly.
Boom clap stokers. Happy to be here.
How you doing?
That's the question that's been the bane of my existence all year.
Yeah, you hate that question.
But for you, I'll answer it, and
Thank you.
I'm doing well today.
I'm really glad that you could come even if you were half an hour late, an hour and a half late.
Yeah, but I'm really glad to be in your apartment. Congrats. You got a new place to live.
It's all that traffic, you know, in Lancaster County.
Also just morning.
That's okay. Pre-coffee, Kelly still arrived on time, and guess what? There was coffee here.
And we're alive.
Yep.
So here we go.
All right, you ready to get into it?
Let's get into our beefs, babes, and legends.
All right, we're gonna
2020.
That's a good place to start. And then we're gonna get into new segments that we, brainstormed on our FaceTime call the other day.
I called Liana about something completely different, and somehow it turned into a production call. So we came up with some fun, spicy new segments for you.
All right. Well, do you want to get started? We can bring some joy to this dumpster fire of a year. Do you want to start with your beef?
I'll start with my beef. So my beef of the year is with myself.
Classic.
Because I think it was 2 years ago at this point, I started this Chrissy Teigen cooking challenge being inspired by Julie and Julia, the movie. I was like, I want to cook through an entire cookbook, because that sounds really fun and I love cooking.
And totally doable.
Right, totally doable. During quarantine, I decided to count how many recipes were in my Chrissy Teigen Craving for More cookbooks. 104.
How many have you done, do you think? I know you said you didn't count.
I didn't.
Like ballpark it for us.
I've done about 52 in 2 years.
But that feels like a lot though. Like that's a valiant effort.
Yeah, definitely. But it just feels like an unmeasurable goal. Like when I sat down and counted that, I had a beef with myself because I counted it. Like I wouldn't have felt like a failure if I just like kept going with the challenge. But because I sat down and took the time to count how many recipes I had done and how many more I have to go, I'm like, is this going to take another 2 years?
Honestly, it could, but like, would that be the worst thing in the world? Because there's still some good recipes in there.
They're great recipes, but all of the recipes that are left are ones I've been avoiding for now 2 years.
Okay, that's fair. Because you probably have to go to a different kind of like market to get like some of these stuff.
It's mostly
or is it like you
fish.
just don't like it?
It's a lot of
you
fish.
don't like fish.
It's a lot of breakfast foods, which if you know me, I'm a lunch gal.
Yeah, and you don't typically eat breakfast. You just drink coffee, which is your breakfast.
Yeah, so I've decided that I need to have safe brunches somehow.
Okay.
With friends, because who needs a whole egg bake?
No one.
No one. I don't need a whole egg bake. So if you want to come over for brunch, you're more than welcome to.
Well, unlike you, I love brunch, love breakfast food. I love it even more when it's at dinner time. Mm-hmm. That's really my thing.
So maybe I'll just cook for you, but I still have a beef that I'm like not done with this goal, and it's taken 2 years.
That's fair. That's a good beef.
Is this significant because it just like tells you about how high of standards I have for myself?
See, hearing it, I'm like, but you still did 52. I've done 3 out of my new cookbook.
You've also, yeah, but that hasn't been 2 years.
That's true. But 52 that's a good effort.
It's definitely glass half full thinking. I think it was just in the moment when I was like sitting on my couch, really bored, excited to see how far I had gotten. to realize that it was only 50% of the way done.
So it's the expectations need to be lowered because they were shattered previously because you thought you were farther ahead than you were.
So my beef of the year is I have really high expectations for myself.
Beef of the year is yourself.
Beef of the year is myself and the expectations I set on it. That's a more concise answer.
All right, I'll take it. That's a good beef.
Yeah,
Nice,
thank you.
dude.
Thanks.
Well, my beef of the year is moving.
I hate moving.
Yeah. I hate moving. I hate it a lot. So to backtrack, started the year living at home in Kennett Square. Well, technically, Lincoln University.
Capital of the world.
Correct. Yep.
Cool.
Hate mushrooms. Hate them.
Love them.
Yeah, I don't understand that. But started the year out living there and then needed to do my internship. So I moved to Mount Joy to live with my friend Sam Darby, our friend Sam Darby. And
Shout out Sam and Darby.
I know, always. And then I was also, then after that, I moved back home. But like at this point, I was living out of bags. But then my official move was everything from Mount Joy, Lincoln University, you know, things that were in the attic, whatever, moved to where I'm living now in Lancaster and trying to fit it into this, I guess, it's a good size house. I like it here.
Oh, I love this place.
But you know, I hate relying on people, had to ask people for help. We got a big box truck, moved all of my stuff into here, and you know, there's still stuff at home, but you know what? It's okay. We have a couch and a table, and it just was a lot of
You
work.
have a lot of couches.
We have 3.
I counted 5.
But I mean, overall, I would just say I hate moving because it's so much coordination. And like you find things that you shoved into a box to like deal with later, and all of a sudden now is later and you have to deal with it.
Yeah, past Liana definitely
Did not set myself up for success
No.
on that one.
No, but yeah, that's a really good beef. I think it's just a lot of like mental energy too in moving, where you're trying to like shift your like perspective on where you are. And not only are you like moving to a new place, you were moving to like a new area for the most part.
Yeah, I describe myself as a transplant. So that's okay. But just moving in general, not my favorite thing.
So many steps.
Yeah.
So many steps.
And
that
like,
you get in.
where's that pair of shoes that I thought that I knew and remembered where I put it?
Yeah.
Don't know where they are. I lost my Crocs for a good month and a half. I found them in my laundry basket, which like also points to the fact that I had not done my laundry in like a month.
Because you were living out of bags, so you would just switch clothes.
Exactly.
I understand.
So that's my beef of the year is moving.
That's a good beef.
Yeah.
For sure.
Who is your babe of the year?
My babe of the year is my apartment.
I like it.
To flip what you just said about moving, I really, really felt at home this year for the first time in 3 years since moving to the area.
Cool. Officially,
because we had to spend a lot of time there. I would say if I had to specifically call something out in my apartment, it would be my couch is my babe of the year.
There's a nice leather couch.
A nice leather couch that I just like sink into every night, and it gave me respite after a really long, hard day of work. And Netflix was also in my apartment. Lots of different streaming services happening. And I just have these beautiful, beautiful giant windows. So like sunlight, vitamin D was all happening in my home, and it made me feel warm and fuzzy inside. And
even when it's cold out right now.
Yeah, even though the windows are like a little drafty, like we give it grace because my apartment's always there to support me. And
just like your couch cradling you.
Yes.
It's there to support you.
So the warm and fuzzy feelings come from my apartment this year. So she's my babe.
I like it. Good babe. Good babe. My babe of the year is my hairstylist. Okay, first of all, I've only been to her twice, but she transformed my mop of a head
into these beautiful, luscious curls.
Yeah, look at them. I mean, I did these this morning. But basically, she just made me feel like a real person after I'd been growing my hair out for so long. And I had like planned on doing like a full chop. These are all things that people don't care about. But you know what?
Yes, we do.
This hairstylist, I don't know what it was. I was like, I feel taken care of. And I'm trying to figure out the middle part. But
because Gen Z told us that side parts are out. So we're trying to like be current and relevant with the middle part.
I can't really figure out where that line is because a lot of girls have center parts right now. I grew up with one, also wearing headbands for everything. And then I switched to a middle or a side part because middle parts were ugly and I couldn't wear my headband anymore, but I don't really care. I got a shag haircut. I also got some highlights, and it just really made me feel put together.
That's important this year, too.
Yeah, like, it's the little things for sure.
Definitely the little things were way more significant this year.
Yeah.
I also love your hairstylist just because of how she made you feel.
Yeah, it was a great day. I cried tears of joy.
I love that you admit that.
I did. I don't ever take selfies, but I sent a picture of myself to you, and my mom was like, look it, I feel so happy.
You could just see the joy radiating through the photo, too.
Yeah, thank you. This is embarrassing.
No, I love it. I love it. We love babes.
All right, who's your legend of the year?
My legend of the year are just like creative individuals. I think this year was truly a year of people unleashing their creative side. And like, I spent a lot of time on social media. I love social media.
You do.
And I just got to see so many artists just like releasing work just on a whim because there weren't any constructs of like, this is how it's always been done. They were just like, you know, I'm like Taylor Swift. Oh, also, we're filming this the week that she released Evermore.
Yeah, we're not going to get much traction because of that.
And to me, just her deciding to release not only one album in the middle of 2020, but two, granted, she's Taylor Swift, so she can do whatever she wants.
Literally whatever.
But it just showed like so significantly that our industry is changing at the moment. And I just love that people are diving more into like the creative things. Again, I watched a lot of TV shows, lots of great writing on Netflix, lots of different ways to access all of this art, and also just ways to like talk to the artists about their work. So more so on Instagram and like YouTube, people are diving into like the stories behind the art that they're creating. And I really enjoy it. And that's helped and inspired me to be more creative in my own life. Also more free time. So I like got into Procreate and I created like little illustrations and doodles, and I post them on Instagram and they like don't do well at all, but I just love them.
I love them. They're so good.
I mean, I definitely get more likes on a selfie of my face.
That's because you're hot.
Oh, thank you. But like to me, it's just a way to like express what I'm doing at the moment, which is most likely sitting on my couch drawing like a little creative doodle or like our Going Deep logo. And I've just seen so much improvement in myself over the year.
They grow up so fast.
Just like, I love creative people and hearing about why they create what they create. And I got to do that so much more this year from the comfort of my apartment.
I love it.
So it's great.
That's a good legend. I'm very proud of you too.
Thanks.
You can see how much joy it brings you, and I love seeing that.
I'm just talking so fast right now, so I'm sorry.
That's okay. More to come on that.
More to come.
Check out Kelly's Instagram.
At Kelly Corden.
My legend of the year, okay, is my wedding planner.
Liana got married this year.
I got married this year. And I mean, my plan was to not talk about this at all, but I don't care. This woman saved my life. Like, I, at first, was not super stoked on getting a wedding planner because I didn't really see the purpose of it. And plus you were like, oh, I'll do it for you. Like, I'll coordinate. Or your mom. You said you would have your mom
do it. Yeah.
And I'm like,
I was in your wedding. There's no way I could have done that.
You're right. But like your mom could have definitely like coordinated it. But then since we had to get one with our venue, we like picked one. We met with her and she was the only one we met with. Her name's Amanda Stauffer.
Shout out to Amanda.
And Honestly, aside from being like the cutest human alive, she like got stuff done. And like I texted her frantically like a couple days before the wedding because it was supposed to rain. Like, where are we supposed to take pictures? Like, of course it's gonna rain on my wedding day. Of course it poured on my wedding day. Poured.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was a really fun party. But I like texted her like frantically. She got it figured out right away for me. No questions asked. She's like, Liana, I'm here for you. I'm like, that's all I needed. Like, I just needed you to tell me that because I'm probably not going to bother you because of my personality type. And I already feel like a bother. But the wedding turned out beautifully. Like, I think the power went out twice during our wedding, which like, of course. And she like got that figured out, was like, Liana, we got it figured out. Everything's fine. I'm like, thank you. And my mom said, she like keeps telling me, she said her favorite memory is looking over at the DJ stand and seeing the wedding planner and her assistant dancing with the DJ. And she's like, you could just tell they're having a good time. Like, I just wanted my party to be a party for everybody. So I'm glad she had a good time too. And plus she was just like super fun.
She was like so chill.
Yeah, she was
but also very organized, which is a rare combination in a human.
Yeah, so if anyone is getting married and needs a wedding planner, I will probably comment her company Instagram because she's killer. Super, super fun. So
we love Amanda.
Yeah, she's awesome. All right, you have anything else to say on that segment?
Congrats on getting married.
Thank you. Thank you.
On to the next.
Yep. All right. So something that we thought would be fun is to talk about what we learned about ourselves in 2020, because aside from, like I said earlier, being a dumpster fire of a year, it's also been a year of growth. And I think a lot of excuses we hear are a lot of like, I don't have enough time to like figure that out about myself, or there's like too many things to do today. But we've also had to stay inside a lot, so we've had a lot of time to like go through the things and sort through the things that we had been avoiding for so long.
Yeah, we got the gift of time this year, which to some people is, I don't know, for me at least personally, like it was hard because I love like doing things, right? But it was also a gift, and we got to sit in, like, it's uncomfortable when you're not used to having time. Yeah. But once you get used to it, you're like, wow, this is really like awesome.
Yeah, once you just got to like adjust and sit into and like be present. Yeah. It was, I don't know. At least for me, it was easier than before when I was like, when is this going to be over? And I think once we all accepted, like, we're going to be here for a while, that it was just easier to like relax and then also sort through these things.
Yeah, we get to talk about these things a lot. We talk every day, but
literally every day.
We thought it would be cool to share on the podcast.
Yeah.
So do you want to share what you've learned this year?
Sure, I can go first. So basically this year, I've learned that it is possible to live out of a bag. Like I had mentioned earlier, I've done a lot of moving and a lot of like, I think at the beginning of the year, I started at a clinical site to finish my degree, but there were 2 different clinical sites, but I was also working 2 jobs, and I also had a fiance that was like an hour away, and being at home and also visiting like friends and stuff. So it is possible to live out of a bag. And if you just buy separate things of like separate shampoos, separate conditioner, and you just leave it in the bag, you're never going to be without it. So that was nice.
That's really resourceful.
I try. So it is possible to live out of a bag.
Would you ever consider becoming a minimalist? Like from that experience?
I think I want to be a minimalist, and Terrell will tell you, for someone who wants to be a minimalist, you have a lot of clothes. I do have a lot of clothes. I think I appreciated it because I was also wearing a lot of the same things and just rewashing them. So I think I could survive that way, but I also love having options. Okay. That would be hard though. But I think it is possible. Before I wasn't
convinced. You understand
yeah,
how people do it. Okay.
Yeah. But then I also learned, being in one spot now, that I like cling to the things that bring me comfort. And like I said, I feel like a transplant here, and I've been watching a lot of New Girl. And I have learned this year that I relate a lot of my comfort and like nostalgia to things. So New Girl is one of them. You know, I wear like sweatshirts like this that like my friends make me a lot, just to like feel that little bit of like home in somewhere I feel unfamiliar and things like that. So yeah.
Do you have any like go-to like guilty pleasure like meals that you eat when you like want to feel at home?
Pasta. Yesterday I just made pasta for lunch because I was like, I'm hungry, but also I love pasta, and that's what we ate a lot at home because I'm from an Italian family. But I think the biggest thing for me is that my goal that I accomplished, I am now current on Chad and JT's podcast.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about this.
Yeah, so this is basically where I've been trying to get this whole time, is to announce that I am now listening to their podcast in real time. Because I think when we found them, they were about
hundreds of episodes in.
Well, they're only 100 and I don't remember how many, in 140s maybe, but
that's like almost 200 episodes that you listen to.
So I went back to episode 1 and I listened all the way through, and I think maybe a month ago I was like, I don't have any more left, and now I'm listening to them. Like, I listened to Wednesdays on Wednesday, and it was great. I spend a lot of time in the car, a lot less now, so I like listen to snippets, but it's just super fun, and it's been an accomplishment for me. I put my mind to it, and I did it.
So, can you share with us any words of wisdom from Chad and JT?
Yeah, so I talk to text a lot of these because they were profound. One, I texted you this, I think, the second it happened, like when I realized it. JT Parr said no one's life was ever worse off because they picked up square dancing. And I just like, I don't know what it is. It made me laugh. It still makes me laugh, but like, come on, that is some wisdom there.
It is 100% true. I will speak to this personally because I don't know if you remembered this when you texted it to me, but I legitimately took a square dancing class in college.
You did.
So
you're right.
My life is not worse off because I learned how to square dance. If anything, it's better because I understand how to dance with a partner.
That is true, and we don't do a lot of those.
No, we don't.
And then another one, Chad said, and this was like right around the time I got engaged, so I was like, this is really...
Speaking to your soul.
He said, love is that fuzzy feeling when you get when you turn on Austin Powers after not seeing it for 7 years. Like, even if you haven't watched Austin Powers, like, my sister and I watched through Victorious on Netflix.
Yes.
Like, that is the feeling of love, is like bringing that back up after not seeing it for years, and you're just like, pure joy. So I just thought that was great.
What legends.
I know.
Also, you're a legend for doing that.
Thank you. It was a mountain I was willing to climb, because like Miley Cyrus said, life is a climb, but the view is great. Anyways, what did you learn about yourself this year, Kelly?
What I learned was not as significant as anything that you learned.
I think when I was writing these, I was just in a really deep mood, but I really resonate with yours.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, I think adulthood, at 26, this is what I realized about adult life. I've realized a lot of things about adult life. Here are the 2 most significant things. 1, adulthood is just cleaning constantly.
Absolutely.
So like, I'm always either in the middle of laundry or dishes, or I like notice dust on my floor, so I have to like sweep my floor, or I have to put laundry away. I'm just constantly doing laundry.
Yeah.
And
you are. What are you doing, Kelly? Laundry.
But laundry is also the most productive chore that you can do, because you put a load in and then you can do something else while the load is happening. This is a Kelly solution. Okay. You can literally sit on your couch and watch Netflix, but your laundry is going, so you're like, I'm being productive right now.
So if you need to feel productive, just throw a load of laundry in?
Yes, but also like fold it after, because I get into the cycle where I don't do that, or I fold it and I just, you know.
I understand the mountain of clean clothes. Go look in my bedroom, for example.
So I'm always just cleaning these days. I'm cleaning my apartment every day, all day.
Sick.
That's what I learned. I also learned, my number 2 is that I just have these significant moments where I realize I'm exactly like my parents.
Oof.
So prime example, if you look around my apartment, you just see stacks of things. Also gets into the cleaning. Do you know who likes to stack things when they clean up?
Kent Gordon.
Kent Gordon. Growing up, there were just stacks of like mail or like stacks of books in specific spots in our house.
I think I'm a stacker too.
I don't know. I don't think it's a bad thing.
No.
I just one day looked around my apartment and was like, whoa, there are just stacks of things everywhere.
I am my father's daughter.
Yes.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, especially when I have a cool dad like you do.
Yeah. Also, Retired Kent started an Instagram this year.
Should we put that in the comments below too?
Yeah, we'll link it down below. Retired Kent's Instagram is him sharing life lessons. I don't know if you know this, but I have a website called Kelly Solutions.
Right.
Which essentially are just life lessons.
Mm-hmm. That you've already learned.
That I learn about myself, so I share them with other people. Retired Kent now has an Instagram where he shares things he's learned about throughout life.
In the form of a PowerPoint slide.
But in an Instagram square. Right. I finally taught him carousels, but like it was one of those moments again when I put 2 and 2 together. I was like, I am my father's daughter. Apple, tree. Apple, tree.
There it is.
There it is. And then I've started eating salads a lot more.
That is Dianeism if I've ever heard one.
Diane also works at Whole Foods where I used to work.
But this makes so much sense though.
None of these are bad things. No. I do want to clarify that.
Right. Because you have great parents.
I love my parents to death. But 2020 was just like, am I my own person? Or am I just a product of my parents?
At least you look like Kelly Gordon and you're not like, oh no, I suddenly have the same haircut as my mom.
Well, that did happen when I went blonde.
That is true too. You both were blonde at the same time.
We were both blonde at the same time, but now I'm a brunette again, so I feel back to myself. So nothing as profound like finishing Chad and JT, but maybe this is relatable content for other people.
But it is right on track with you not finishing the cookbook either. You haven't gone current with Chad and JT yet. But I do keep you updated.
Oh my gosh, you keep me updated.
On significant
for
things.
Sure.
Yeah. It's like that Geico commercial, going back to you being like your parents, where like the guy is hired to like help people out in public. I mean.
Oh, I also talk to strangers a lot. My mom does that.
But it's so sweet because I'm like, oh no, I have to order pizza. Like, I'm just proud of you.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
I do love my parents, but you know.
Now that you're brunette, who do you think has more fun, blondes or brunettes? Let's talk about that.
Ooh, that
came to me.
That's a good question. I would say when I was blonde, I didn't hate it. I hated the upkeep of it.
It's expensive.
It's expensive. I don't know. I just didn't really feel like myself. I think I was going through like a self-discovery year where I was just like, I want to be different. So I'm going to dye my hair more blonde than it's ever been before.
So 2019 of you.
So 2019 of me. And then 2020 hit and I was like, I want to feel like myself. Like and I went back to brunette, like straight brunette.
Yeah.
And my coworkers were like, wow, this hair color looks really good on you. Like, why did you choose it? I'm like, this is my natural color.
This is me.
This is real. This is me. This is exactly where I want to be. Just let the light shine on me.
I feel like that's not the first time this week that I've sang that song.
Yeah. So I don't know if blondes have more fun. I think when you're feeling confident about yourself, you'll have the most fun you can have. So if you're confident as a blonde,
be a blonde.
Be a blonde. If you're confident as a brunette, be a brunette. It's really more about like the internal mental state for who has more fun, because you can make life fun anywhere. We live in central PA and somehow we make life fun.
Yeah. You more so than me. I feel like even being an hour away from each other, it's a very different vibe between Amish country and like central Pennsylvania.
Yeah, but I think it's just like your mental state. Like if I'm going to walk into, it doesn't matter what restaurant, but if I'm going to make friends with a waiter, like that's a more fun experience than just like walking in, doing your thing and walking out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, but I always need you by my side. Like it's hard to do it by yourself. You like need friends to make life fun.
That's why we get by with a little help from our friends. Well, that's a great segue into our positive pod section.
Bum, bum, bum.
This just kind of came to us because last year we were listening to a podcast and they did a segment about what's good. Mm-hmm. And I love that. And I think after this year that we've had, I think it's important to focus on the good things.
It's always good to focus on the good.
Yeah, it always is. But especially this year, it's harder to come by those things. And I think this segment and this portion and this year, we have spent, well, first of all, we spent a lot of time at Marco Polo together.
Yes.
And I think we often find each other like just like unloading, but then also being like, thanks for being awesome. Thanks for being my friend. And like, we're both just such words of affirmation people that I think focusing on the good things is really important. And yeah.
And we just wanted to take a minute and affirm each other.
Yeah.
We just wanted to have a positive point in the podcast where I mean, if you've made it this far, obviously you can tell that like we're very good friends. But throughout this year, I realized that like being intentional with your friends is so important. There's so many people that like I would see on a regular basis just because we were in like the same area, location, whatever. But even throughout our friendship, like we've just realized how intentional we have to be. Mm-hmm. So we're just going to take a minute to essentially like, I think I framed it to you as,
I wrote it down. It's like an affirmation circle, but with two people.
So if you want to skip through this, like that's okay, but we're just going to affirm each other for a minute.
I want you to go first.
Okay.
I have a little bit of stage fright.
I got a little bit of stage fright. Well,
this feels like when you sing happy birthday, or like people are singing happy birthday to you and you're like, what do I do with my hands?
Well, you're allowed.
And like, where do I look?
You're allowed to cry if you want.
I know, no one needs to say that. I cried because of my haircut, okay?
Yeah. Okay, so waterworks, get prepared. No, I'm kidding. I wrote it on my phone.
Whoa!
But it's two-sided because it's a two-parter.
Two-parter. Does this have a dance to it?
I wish. A square dance, a two-step. Okay. Nervous laughing over. I'm going to affirm you now. Liana, much like the rest of the world, this past year, we've been continuously having to adjust. And you especially have continuously had to adjust where you were living, what you were doing. And unlike the rest of the world, you had two very significant life moments happen this year. One, you got married. Two, you finished your second round of school, which
I did.
I don't know what to call it.
I went back to school.
You went back to school.
Yeah. And
both of those things happened. You took like the biggest test of your career literally the weekend before your wedding.
Yeah, 3 days.
Mm-hmm. And I just wanted to say, wow, congrats.
Thank you.
I'm so proud of you because it just shows how much perseverance you have in your life and how strong you are to be able to do that. And even if on the inside you didn't feel like all put together and stuff, like that's okay because you did it and that's an accomplishment. And I love you for that.
Thank you.
And your capacity to love has grown beyond what even you thought you could. And that's really, really awesome. And I wanted to affirm that.
Thank you. These are like wedding vows.
I know.
I love it.
And it's just always so evident in everything that you do that you just love your friends and family. You always put them first, and that's an incredible thing. Not many people like to put other people before themselves, me included. It's hard. It's hard, and it's a muscle, and you're growing in that. And personally, I'm thankful for it because you listened to my Marco Polo monologues, which honestly go on for 10 minutes sometimes because that's my drive home from work and I just chat with you the whole time. And I don't know many people that could make it through a 10-minute, shout out to all the podcast listeners right now because they're listening to me monologue right now. This is what it's like. And that's just so much patience and time, and thank you.
They did take away the fast forward.
We got to upgrade for that feature. So
yeah.
Marco Polo, if you want to sponsor us, we're available.
Yeah.
But beyond that, and more importantly this year, I saw you grow in loving yourself, and loving who God made you to be. And this year you've prioritized yourself, and that's not selfish. And I'm just so proud of you for doing that. And in those moments, even though it might have felt selfish to yourself, those are the moments that I saw that you have true rest and true peace in who God made you to be. And it's just beautiful to watch. It's fun to be on the outside looking in. And I hope you know that you're loved by your friends and family and your best friend, KG. And I'm looking forward to see what God does in your life in 2021.
Thanks, Kel.
You're welcome.
It's been quite a year.
Did you cry?
I'm crying on the inside.
Cool, great. That's all I wanted.
That was really sweet. Thank you. Okay, my turn. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay. These are just all things that I love about you and deserve some recognition. I think pretty recently I called you beautifully chaotic. Your brain.
It's my favorite phrase I think that has ever been described.
But I just want to unpack that for a little bit, okay?
Yes.
So life has been pretty crazy for you. You've gotten thrown a lot through work, through life, through different personal situations, and it's been really hard for you. But I think it's been really cool to watch you grow, even since college, because we've been friends for whatever feels like. It feels like forever. But just watching you, travel through those things with grace, even though it feels like chaos on the inside. I think it's been really beautiful for me to watch. And I just wanted to thank you. I thank you all the time for trusting me with, your unfiltered thoughts, your pre-coffee Kelly thoughts, and your frustrations and your joys. And I think it's been really, really awesome to share in those moments with you. So I want to thank you. I tell people this a lot at my, the Airbnb when we first were getting ready for my wedding. I was very overwhelmed and I didn't really know how to ask her what I needed. And you came up to me and you asked me, hey, is it too loud in here? I'm like, it's absolutely too loud in here. And you just knowing that you're there by my side and that you were just so in tune with what was going on, it was really special to me. And it's a moment I'll never forget because you were in tune, you paid attention, you saw what I needed. And I don't think that a lot of people have the capacity to just know, and you did. And I'm really thankful for that. It's something I really think about a lot. So I want to thank you. I love that you pick up the phone and you call people just to chat, but also because you found something concerning in a text message that you received, or that Marco Polo was too long, let's just talk, which is how our production meeting happened the other day. And I think it's just so cool because I'm going to use a New Girl reference. Schmidt is like, what? A phone call? What year is it? No one calls anymore. And I think it's really special because it just shows how intentional you are. And I think that is something that you've grown so much in. And especially this year, you've become so intentional. And I think it's really special because not a lot of people know how to do that. I love that you're brutally honest, but also how kind-hearted you are. I think it's also something that we've gained over time is the ability to be brutally honest with one another. But I think it's cool that you're able to be you're being stupid, or Liana, this is what you're really saying when you're telling me that. And you almost know me better than I know myself. So thank you. And I love how you're this is what I want to say back in this email, but I can't, so I'm saying it to you. So thank you for that. But I just want to highlight how kind you are, and how I don't know, just how special that is, because it's so easy to be short and short-handed with other people, but you take the time to listen and you're like, no, it's okay for you to feel that way, and let's explore that together. And you walk alongside with people when I'm like, I don't know how you deal with that. I would just tell them to stop being so dumb. But you're like, no, let's sit here and talk through it. And you're just kind. You just have this ability to approach situations with kindness. And I think that's really cool. Hold on.
A lot of grace.
Yeah, you've grown in that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wasn't like that like 2 years ago.
No.
Is that maturing?
Yeah, I think so. I love that you allow me to talk you off a ledge. You allow me to just be there for you. And I love that over time you've learned to rely on other people, because I think that was super hard for you at first, to let yourself be, to let other people need you and vice versa. And just like having that partner, like we are in a partnership and in a friendship. And I think it's cool that you let me walk alongside you, and when you're being dumb, that you let me talk you off that ledge. And
happens kind of a lot, because we're all human.
Yeah. But overall, I just wanted to thank you for trusting me to be your friend, and you've just grown so much, and I'm so proud of you and who you are. And your job is not easy sometimes, and it's also super fun sometimes. And I thank you for sharing all those things with me. But also overall, you're just very stylish and have great music taste. So thanks for sharing new music with me. And also over Marco Polo showing me your Target hauls and Amazon purchases, and you're just really fun. And I'm really glad that you're my friend.
I'm really glad that you let me live out my YouTuber lifestyle that like doesn't ever reach the internet through Marco Polo.
Honestly, I think a lot of dumb internet things would be shared or solved if that person just had a Marco Polo friend. Because you would just be able to share it on Marco Polo. It doesn't need to go on Instagram stories or YouTube.
That is true, but then they would make no money.
That's true too. We should get sponsored by Marco Polo.
We've talked about them enough. No, I received that. Thank you.
I love you.
I love you too. Also, this is a lesson in something that we've grown in, is just like learning how to take compliments.
Yeah.
For a long time we were like, we love affirmation, but we say it to each other, but we feel uncomfortable about it. So I received that.
Oh, look at us growing up so fast. Even though we're going to turn 25 again next year, because our 26th birthday was terrible this year.
Yeah.
I'm mature now.
I'm still not 26. I'm 25 again.
That's fine.
So.
All right. Our last and final thing before we head out.
Before we go.
What is your goal for 2021? Which is in like a couple weeks, which is crazy.
Yeah, I don't know when this is going to go up, but
I wouldn't say that this is like a New Year's resolution, because I really don't like those, but it's like,
what is something you hope for?
Yeah. What's your hope, your goal? What do you want to see in yourself? What'll it be?
For 2021, I want to finally finish that darn cookbook.
All right. Can I have some of those meals? I like fish, so.
Okay, so you have to come over and eat well, we're closer now, so this is more reasonable. Also, let's hope we'll do it in a safe environment. Maybe I'll make some to-go containers. I'm kidding. You can come over.
Yeah, thank you.
You can be in my bubble.
Thanks. We have a very small bubble, so.
Yeah. Yeah. Not that we don't have friends. They're just like all over the country.
That's true too.
But I really, really want to finish it. I really want to finish that movie, Julie and Julia, but in my life with Kelly and Chrissy.
Right.
I want to make it there.
Kelly and Chrissy, that sounds like Julie and Julia.
Yeah, Kelly and Chrissy. Also, who knows if I just got a TikTok. So Lockdown 2.0, I downloaded TikTok. Maybe in 2021, I'll post my reviews of all of the recipes on TikTok. That is the hope. Will it be executed? I don't know.
So we're just re-upping that cookbook goal that you made 2 years ago.
Yes.
I think this segment had the potential to be like super deep, but then when you were like, I don't know, I need to think of a better one. Like, no, because this
is real.
Yeah. And also my goal for 2021 is to learn how to not be afraid to use my Instapot. And I mean that so sincerely, because just the thought behind it being a pressure cooker and like the fact that it could explode just like sends me over the edge. Terrell has used it one time and I'm just really glad I was not there for it. Whatever he made was great. He made me chicken something, I don't remember. But like,
Liana, have you heard of like a friend exploding an Instapot? Like, have you heard of this story personally?
I think someone told me about someone they knew watching a YouTube video of it exploding. And it's not like I don't. What? I know. And it's not like I don't have a cookbook telling me how to like use the Instapot.
No, you 100% do.
I do. Yeah. I got it for a wedding gift. But I don't know. That's just my goal because it's still sitting in the spot where we put it when we unpacked it, aside from the one time Terrell used it. And I just want to not be afraid to use it and use it confidently. So
honestly, these are both achievable. Well, I don't know if mine's achievable because
I don't know if mine is either.
No, yours is definitely achievable.
Listen, I made soup in the crock pot the other day and then I left it on because that's what you're supposed to do. And I went to work, but Terrell was going to be home, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours later. What did I do the entire time I was at work? Think about the crock pot and just honestly praying to the Lord that it wouldn't explode. And that's not even an Instapot.
But the Instapot only takes a couple minutes. I shouldn't be.
You don't even have one.
This. I don't even have this, but I understand the concept of it, and it cooks things faster, so you don't need to leave a crock pot on when you're home, like when you're gone.
Yeah. Well, don't make fun of my goal.
I'm not. I'm just telling you, I think you can achieve it, and I think you can.
All right.
I really do think you can do it.
Thanks. We'll see. We'll check back next year.
Check back next year, maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe not.
No, we will. This has been really fun, and I'm really glad that we got to spend time together today, and you got to see my new apartment.
We got to celebrate Christmas a little early.
Yep. But here we are, and we did it.
We're still alive in 2020.
I know. Who would have thought?
Very significant.
Yeah. So, have anything left to say? Do you have any last sentiments?
Keep doing you.
You too.
With whatever hair color you want.
Oh, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just leave it at that. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Cool.